Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. Here's your host, Brien Hanley.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? It's your man, Big B, Brien Hanley, along with Tim Fitzgerald. Welcome back to Big 12 Insiders. Today is Tuesday. It is Power Rankings Day. A couple of changes, but to be honest, how the hell do you rank the middle of this conference? I have no idea. Teams show up, teams don't show up on a week-to-week basis. You have no clue what's going on. But we kind of thought that from the very beginning. We thought there would be a top, an insane middle, and then a back end. And that's kind of where we're at with it today. So we're going to go through it the best we can. And as always, before we get started, remember to continue to like, follow, subscribe, get in the comments as always, and always hit the notification bell so you know exactly when Big 12 Insiders content comes out. But yeah, Fitz, first off, how are you doing?
I'm good, man, but you're right. I was just typing in the power rankings. That middle is a mess. The Big 12 publishers middle as a consensus looks nothing like what I voted for, looks nothing like you. And other than one school that I'm sure you'll catch, it all makes sense to me either way. So, the middle of this conference is a big blob.
It is.
That's not a compliment.
No.
I think the upper echelon of this conference is very good. And then there's a few other schools that, are kind of hanging around the party. And then there's the rest of everyone and a couple of really bad schools. That's it. I feel like I'm covering the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, this has never been what the Big 12 has been about, to have a middle filled with mediocre, but that's what other conferences have been, and that's where we're at right now as a conference, and it's got to change. If it's NIL or whatever it is, they got to get better. This conference's strength is its strength, top to bottom. You erase that, and it's going to get hard to argue for much.
Right, and that's the difference, is that the middle is just mediocre.
Yeah.
The middle is mediocre. And it goes to show you, with so few games left, there's still 6 teams that can make it to the Big 12 title game. In my opinion, there's still 6 teams. Arizona State, Utah, Houston, Cincinnati, BYU, Texas Tech. Now, I'm sure there's people out there, and I've said this over and over again, I am not going to do the research on tiebreakers until it's time to do it. I'm just not going to waste my time or make myself, I guess this really isn't a word, but more dumber in doing so until I absolutely have to do so. I have no interest, because there's too much football left, Fitz. There's too much football to be decided for me to go down that rabbit hole. But there'll be a time, and I will, but today isn't that day. This week isn't even that week. I would say not even next week is necessarily that week, but we'll see how it plays out. But let's get to these power rankings. So first up, Oklahoma State, they're back at 16. I know, and I can just reveal Colorado is 15. Colorado's a more talented football team, but Colorado didn't quit on a football game. They were on the road. They had every opportunity to quit. They didn't. So I moved them back to 15. Now, they still lost. Don't get me wrong, they still lost, but they looked like a team that was at least interested in playing. Now, they just don't play very good because their offensive line is absolutely atrocious. They had a young quarterback out there, held the ball a lot too long, but 15 tackles for loss. That offensive line, at some point, Colorado's got to figure it out. Oklahoma State, again, they were off. Just not a very talented team, but that's where I'm at. 16 and 15, Oklahoma State 16, Colorado 15. Fitz.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, they're both bad and great. We're going to find out more about them as they go down the stretch here. But I think Oklahoma State has its last hurrah this weekend. They're coming off a bye week, and we'll see if they can straighten things out.
Yeah, well, we'll figure it out. Hopefully they'll figure it out. I don't know if they'll win against K-State. I don't think they're going to win, but K-State will have to show up to be able to win the game. At number 14, West Virginia. And look, West Virginia is playing good football as of late, but it wasn't too long ago that they got. Look, I know a lot of people might have them above UCF, but I think they played 3 weeks ago and UCF blew them out. So I get it. And power rankings can fluctuate week to week, but you can't get blown out 3 weeks ago. And then all of a sudden, I know you won 2 games in a row, and one was a big win over Houston, but you can't get blown out and move ahead of them. If it's a close game or something of that nature, then it's like, okay, yeah, I get that. That you got roadhoused, and so that's the only reason I don't have them at 13. I've got them at 14. I got UCF at 13. But that's where I'm at with it. That's literally the reason why. But I think West Virginia, again, is playing some good football right now. You get another win, then, yeah, they'll probably move up, not just one, they'll probably move up 2 or 3 spots. Who knows? Who knows? But I like what West Virginia is doing right now. UCF let an opportunity get away because Houston didn't look interested. We'll talk a little bit more about them here in a minute. They didn't look interested in that game on Saturday, but they let one get away. But I got West Virginia at 14 and UCF at 13.
Yeah, we've been through a lot with those 2 schools. Like they move up, move down, and they just kind of settle back to where they were.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably just their reality this season. But when you've got an opportunity to beat a good team, you got to finish it off, particularly when that good team doesn't look fully engaged. But yeah, I think that loss to West Virginia took a lot of steam out of Houston. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Houston, ugly. Speaking of ugly, TCU, I'm putting them at 12. I don't care what anybody else said. Look, I went to the game. TCU didn't look interested at all. They as a team that says, you know what, we have an opportunity in a year that we haven't played great, but you know what? Here's where we are. We still have a chance to be able to get to Arlington and play for a Big 12 title 15 minutes away from our campus. We've got that opportunity. And they went out and looked like a team that had no intent, that just didn't want to compete for that title. Now, I give a lot of credit to Iowa State for the Iowa State didn't play well. I mean, they didn't play well at all. But TCU just looked like a team that just, I know we got a chance for a title. We don't want that, Fitz. We want to do that.
It seems like a lot.
We're going to prolong our season. I don't want to prolong our season. I'll be honest with you. Sonny Dykes, come on. I was there. I heard the TCU fans, they are not happy with that coach right now. And they haven't been, and they're not going to make a change. I'm not saying anything. I'm not even saying they should make a change. I'm just telling you, the people that I was sitting around are fed up with what they saw and what they've been seeing. TCU should be better because they're a more talented football team than what they show on a week-to-week basis, and damn sure what they showed on Saturday. Fitz, that was embarrassing.
I can't figure them out. I can't.
Nope.
They should be good. They're not. And apparently the people doing power rankings can't figure them out either, as you'll find out. And it's, as disappointing as Kansas State's been, TCU's fighting for that nod too. Mostly because TCU now, with games that still mean something, all of a sudden doesn't look like they care.
Nope.
So it's hard to figure. Maybe there's a purple curse right now in this conference, but TCU kind of finished itself off, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And like I said, they came out and played like a team that just, you know what? I know we got an opportunity, but that's going to require that we got to put in some effort, and it might prolong our season. I don't want to do that. What it sounds like, Fitz, and what it looked like is that you got about 25 to 30 guys that have already hit the transfer portal and are looking to get out of there. That's what it looked like. Sorry, that's what I saw. That's what I saw.
Yep.
Moving on, number 11, KU. KU played it. Look, I think KU and Arizona, that was the best game of the weekend, in my opinion. KU, Arizona came down to the wire. KU didn't play bad. But they just didn't win the game. Arizona made enough plays at the end to be able to win the football game. But this is kind of what KU is right now. They're just okay. They're just okay. They can beat a couple of teams that maybe are ranked ahead of them Maybe if that game's in Lawrence, maybe they win. But right now, they're just okay. This is not what people thought as far as their season was concerned. A lot of people, I think it was 7.5 was the over-under on wins. I would have taken the over if I was a betting man. I would have taken the over, but I didn't realize their defense would be this bad. Although it stood up a little bit on Saturday, didn't give up 600 yards, so that's a plus. But this is just where KU is right now. Just not consistent enough, Fitz.
You know, all that stands between Lance Leipold and being highly successful at the University of Kansas is winning one-score games.
Yeah.
His record, I don't have it in front of me. It's atrocious. It defies explanation other than you're giving games away. You can't be that unlucky. It's weird because he's an outstanding football coach, but late game situations, he turns into me. He has no idea what he's doing down there. Can't figure out why he's wearing these shoes. You know, he's just totally lost down there. Like, well, how did I get here? And it doesn't make sense to me. They are so bad in late game situations.
Last 2 years, they've been terrible.
Oh, it's like, hey, you guys need a rally? Okay, we'll help you out. We'll do that for you. I mean, it's insanity, and they did it again. They did it again.
They did.
Now, I go back to, you know, how they gave up the ball as a major problem. You know, you got to try to put that game away.
Yes.
You can't be like, oh, we're up by 3. Let's try to lead by 6. Mm-hmm. No. When you're in that situation, you got to try to put it away.
Correct.
They didn't.
So those are the first 6. I don't think these should be that big of a deal. K-State at 11, not too far off. Oklahoma State, Colorado, those are all right. Kansas, and then they got I have TCU. I don't know. I just, like I said, I don't think TCU is vested in the season any longer. I just don't.
I'm with you.
and by the way, I talked about 3 weeks ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago. We watched Kansas State just blow the doors off of TCU. We watched that happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know how publishers think that they're better than Kansas State. There was a football game that happened between those two, and it wasn't close. It wasn't 2 months ago, Fitz. 3 weeks ago. Literally 3 weeks ago, we watched this game, and it was absolute blowout. So I don't know. But we'll figure it out. We'll keep going. Speaking of Kansas State, I got them at 10. I mean, they didn't play this past week. I think K-State got better. Well, I take that back because losing Austin Romaine doesn't make them better.
No.
Making a decision on Dylan Edwards or whether he made the decision, whatever, that gets K-State better. That's addition by subtraction because I don't know what was going on in that locker room. Be quite honest, I don't even care what was going on in that locker room. I was in a college locker room before. Hell, I've been in a Kansas State locker room. And if a guy wasn't invested, we knew. And we didn't want him to be part of it. We liked him. You know, hey, we love you, but we're trying to get somewhere. And if you're not with us, we understand, but we're still going to keep going. But thanks. We'll talk to you. No, we'll hang out with you. We'll do all those things. But when it comes to football, I'm sorry, we're trying to get somewhere. If you're not with us, you're not necessarily against us, but we're still going to try to get there. I think that was the thing with me with Coach Kleiman all year. Make the decision on the kid. They could have done this 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And just been done with it. And he didn't. And I had been calling it out. And I'm like, what are you doing? It's a transfer portal era. I get it that players have power now. And I'm not even opposed to that. But you as a coach can still have some power over your football team and just say, no, he's not going to be part of this football team the rest of the year. And whether he wants to transfer or not, whatever he wants to do. But this year, he's not going to play, and we're going to move on.
Preach. I need to apologize for my language here, but I know a perfect way to describe this. He's a party pooper. Sorry about that. Sorry I got foul. You know, he's that guy that's standing at the party and everyone's doing shots, doing keg stands, having a good time. Everyone's mixing it up a little bit, you know, laughing. and he's standing there going, "This party sucks."
Yeah.
You don't want that guy around.
No.
Yeah, he turned into a giant distraction. Wildly talented young man, but his worst enemy is himself. Period.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I hope he finds a good place to play. I would caution any Big 12 school about introducing him into your ecosystem. But maybe his experience will be totally different at his third school. Or is it his fourth school? Technically, he never went to Notre Dame. So he committed to K-State and switched to Notre Dame and switched to Colorado and transferred to Kansas State. Now, maybe you go to Notre Dame. I don't know. Just close that circle.
Yeah, no chance. Notre Dame. He didn't go to Notre Dame because he knew what was at Notre Dame. So either way, I'm not going to – it is what it is. It's the transfer portal error. Kids are going to make decisions. I always say consequences, good or bad, you got to live with them. And to be quite honest, he should have never left Colorado. I'd just be flat out honest with you. He should have just stayed. Didn't work out at K-State the way he thought it was going to, and here's where we are. But either way, Kansas State is at number 10. I think they got an opportunity to do some damage. Look, they can play spoiler. I know it's not what K-State fans wanted to hear or talk about at this point in the season, but not this week. But next week, they got an opportunity to play spoiler. We'll see what happens.
Except
moving on.
Spoil the entire conference because Utah could sneak into the playoff with the right combination of wins and losses around the country.
100%. I did that. And I mean, and I'll talk about that. We'll talk about that at the end of this as far as college football playoff predictions. But we'll save it for that. Number 9, I've got Iowa State. Look, Iowa State didn't play well against TCU, but they found a way to win. I give them all the credit in the world. This was a game where Rocco Beck was horrible. The entire football game. He was not good. But they hung around, and they hung around, and they hung around. And then they made special teams play, and then all of a sudden you end up winning the football game. Hey, I give them credit because they had every reason to just quit.
Yep.
4 games in a row they've lost. All the things that they thought they were trying to accomplish this year, gone. Every single one of them, other than a winning record in a possible bowl game. Other than that, they had nothing else other than pride, which that's tough to try to get kids in this day and age to just play for pride. But good for Matt Campbell. Good for that program. That's a good win at TCU. So I got him at 9.
Yeah, I agree. This season hasn't come together. They had every reason just to roll over and be done.
Yep.
And they didn't. Sometimes if you hang around in a game, you find a way to win. Arizona did it.
Yep.
And Iowa State did it. And winning's always better than losing, Big B. You know that better than anyone. It's got to get the W, and they found a way. I've turned into a Matt Campbell fan. I don't think he's Bear Bryant, but I like the way he can kind of steady his team at times. He did it. Well, we saw it last year when they kind of stumbled and then they ended up, winning to close the season. So it's impressive what he can get them to do at times when their backs are against the wall and they can't get it together. They somehow pull out a win, and they did it.
They did. They absolutely did. Moving on at number 8, I've got Baylor. Again, another team I have no clue what to think of other than they can play spoiler. I mean, Baylor's got an opportunity. I don't know. I think Baylor's a team that's underachieved this year. I mean, yeah. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts. Their defense kind of let them down. But we'll see. I mean, you look at the rest of their schedule. It ain't easy. Utah, at Arizona, Houston. We'll see how that goes. But I think putting them, they're right in the middle. I think this is probably fine at number 8. Baylor just kind of is what it is, Fitz.
Big blob right in the middle of it. I don't know what to say. There's just a blob of teams in that middle, and this is where you've got Baylor. These teams can literally win or lose against anyone in this conference, except maybe Texas Tech.
Correct.
They're going to lose. But, yeah, these teams are all very alike, and you almost wish you could just put them into a little tournament to figure out who's the best of the mediocre, because it's hard to decipher. Just We saw a round robin earlier this year of K-State beating TCU, losing to Baylor, Baylor beating TCU, and it just summed it all up. all three teams end up 1-1. Bleh.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Ugly. Number 7, I have got Houston. Houston, they almost let a team beat them twice. That loss to West Virginia, I think, put a huge damper in their sales. And I'm not sure why. Like, they're ahead of – well, I take that back. I do understand why. But they did it to themselves. You weren't ready to play against a team that you were better than at home. And in the comments section, I'll just share this, Fitz. Some people said, well, this team let the fans down. And I was like, hold on a second. What are you talking about? I go, 2 of the biggest games that the school has had in I don't know how many years are this year, and half the stadium is full. I go, you're telling me that the team let down the fans? I'm like, how about you just show up? Just do that. Even if you don't cheer, just show up to the game and just be there. I go, you can't tell me they let down the fans. I'm like, wow, that's the understatement of the decade, I think, to even say something like that. I'm like, show this team some respect and support. This program is miles better than what it was. That's number 1. It's way ahead of schedule. That's number 2. And they're still in the hunt and could possibly get to Arlington. There is an opportunity for that. But they let the fans down? Come on, man. That's wild. But I got them at 7.
They let the fans down, both Jerry and Carl. I mean, Willie Fritz could call the fans up this afternoon and apologize personally in about 30 minutes. I mean, what?
Yeah.
What? I mean, the biggest issue with Houston is a lack of fans, a lack of support.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's so wild because for that basketball team, they support that thing like no other. But somehow this football team, they just can't generate. I don't know. It is what it is. And like I said, they're not out of this. They really aren't. You might think, well, these tiebreakers, whatever. I don't care. If they just keep winning, they have a chance. They have a chance. So at number 6, I got Arizona. It is wild to me, the turnaround that they have made.
Yeah.
I keep saying it, and I'm going to keep saying it. From being an uninterested program from the head coach down to doing a complete 180. Not only are they bowl eligible, they have opportunity to play spoiler. They look like a totally different football team than what they looked last year. You've got to give the head coach credit, give those players credit. It's just a different look, and they are so much better for it. And now, because people were saying, well, it's a rebuild project last year. I'm like, no, it wasn't. I go, you weren't rebuilding. Your coach just left and took another job. Like, he didn't get fired. I go, you weren't rebuilding anything. You hired a coach, and maybe it didn't work out the first year. But now, okay, now he figured some stuff out. Maybe he just thought, you know what, the talent that's still here, we'll just win. No, you got to do a little coaching. Got to get some coaches in there. Do a little coaching. And they did that. And you got to commend everybody. They look like a different football team. I got them at 6. They're playing good football right now, Fitz.
How many times have we seen a head coach fire his coordinators, hire new ones, and it turns out the entire problem was the head coach? And this wasn't that. He fired his coordinators, and guess what? They got a lot better.
They got better.
It's kind of remarkable how quickly they turn things around. But again, the key here is going back to how Arizona got here with the late win over Kansas is Kansas is ranked where it is, and Arizona is ranked where it is because of close games.
Yep.
You got to figure out how to win the damn things. And Arizona's been doing that this year for the most part. This was a loss that they pulled out of the fire and turned into a W. And that's what good teams do once in a while. So congratulations to Arizona. I'll be interested to see where they continue to go in this conference because they've got some work to do. They're going to lose a quarterback eventually, aren't they? I know he's kind of built like a 12-year-old in terms of size, but He's got to be running out of eligibility. He's pretty damn good. But yeah, it's impressive what Coach Brennan's done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. At number 5, Arizona State. Again, I still am so impressed on how they won that game 2 weeks ago without Sam Leavitt as a quarterback. That is truly the definition of a head coach that has built his program to say, okay, let's do this. Or better yet, understand what he has in the quarterback and Jeff Sims and his limitations. But you know what? Let's run him. Let's run him 29 times. And if that's what it takes to win a game, then that's what we're going to do to win a game. And they did. They did in a game that I thought they had no chance to go to Iowa State and do. I'm like, nope, they're not going to do it. But damn it, they found a way. That's the definition of a head coach. Number one, that the kids are bought in, that they still have pride. Oh, by the way, they're still not out of this thing to get to a Big 12 title game, and they got some tough games still left on their schedule. So we'll see what happens. But Arizona State, this is a program, Fitz. It is. I think we can now say, it's a program versus, well, maybe last year was a fluke. First of all, it wasn't. And this year proves it. And the way that they're still coming together with the injuries they've had to deal with to be where they are currently. Yeah, this is a program now.
Yeah, in this cycle of coaching, I know Kenny Dillingham said he's not going anywhere, but he might have some incredible opportunities.
He will.
Both in terms of stature of the program and financial of how much he get paid. But I hope to God he doesn't leave.
Yeah, no.
I hope he just stays where he is and builds something, because I think Arizona State has the resources, both in terms of recruiting base and, access to players and massive amounts of money. I would think they have some donors that are currently inert that they need to activate and get them going again, and get them going maybe for the first time and making enormous NIL contributions. This is a bigger topic, but I'm wondering now if what Tech's done with Cody Campbell and others won't awaken other donors around this conference to say, you know what, we could compete at the highest levels if we just do this. It's possible because it's being proven right before their eyes.
Yep. And I mean, again, I don't know who has access to what, but yeah, I mean, it can absolutely be done. Now you have to get the right people in place to pick the right players, because you just throw money at a situation doesn't always work, because people talk about Tech and again, we'll get to them, but Tech's not in the top 10 as far as spending in the country, and they're not even close. Yeah. So while people say it's the best team money can buy, no, it actually isn't.
No,
because they're not in the top 10, not even close to being in the top 10 of what teams are spending around the country. People just keep that in mind when you talk about that. They just got the right people in place.
Right. It wasn't that they spent the money and went out and just bought players. They did a masterful job of finding literally the right players for their locker room. We've seen this over and over, whether it's football or basketball. You go out and spend a bunch of money and you get a bunch of turds.
Correct.
They might be great players, but they're not who you want in your locker room.
Nope.
And they found a bunch of guys that honestly, they overpaid, but they got them. And they turned them into team players, or they came as team players. I don't know. That's what's incredible. Not that they found these guys, it's that how they put them all together into a really good defensive unit in particular.
Right. And I think Arizona State has that ability. The one thing is the conference can't afford to lose Dillingham. They just can't. A young, good, enthusiastic coach that players seem to love, that's not somebody that they can lose. Now, it's his school, so you would hope that, he wants to stay, but money is money. And don't get me wrong, there are things that are more important than money. Trust me, I totally understand that. But if you're talking about, and I'm not going to get into his contract, but if you're talking about making $5 million versus 11, I mean, there's a difference there. And that's enough difference to make you think. That's enough different. I don't care how much you love being at home, how much you love living next to your parents, because I've heard that story that he lives like right down the street from his parents. And, you know what? I'll move my parents to wherever I go. Yeah, so we'll see. But Arizona State got to keep them. But that's the next 6.
Okay.
Let's see where go ahead.
Hold on. I need to just warn everyone. Big B doesn't see these before they go up. He doesn't see.
Nope.
So right now, you folks at home, particularly at work, you might want to turn down your volume a little bit. Here we go, Big B.
Let's see. Houston, Iowa State, TCU at 7. Oh,
there it is.
Oh, okay. I mean, what in the world? Oh, Lord,
if that doesn't define this conference, 2 different polls that rating the same thing. One has TCU at 7, the other at 11. The 11's a lot closer to reality, but it's that middle mush.
How do you look at TCU and say, yep, they're the 7th best team in this conference after what you just saw at Iowa State? Oh, and 3 weeks ago, you have Kansas State at 11. Kansas State at 11, and which, again, that's close to being right. You've got them at 11. 3 weeks ago, they beat the brakes off of TCU. Just blew them out. And yet TCU is 7? Come on. And now I don't think the publishers are even trying. They're not even trying, Fitz. They're not. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
I'm so glad that happened.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Yeah. That's embarrassing. Lord have mercy. How do you look at TCU? Oh, yeah, they're the 7th best. Woo, which 7th best? They probably mean some people had them higher than that on their actual polls, which is wild. But oh well. I digress. Hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled. Doesn't make your opinion right, though. That's another thing I always tell people is that, yes, everybody's entitled to your own opinion, but that doesn't make your opinion or my opinion right. That's the thing.
You can have your opinion, but you also can be an idiot.
Exactly. At number 4, I've got Cincinnati. Cincinnati's got a little road here ahead of them. Yeah. They've got a road. I mean, look, they're smarting off of getting the brakes beat off of them by Utah. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They're coming off of that game, and they got whipped. And I'm interested to see how they bounce back because, again, they host Arizona. They host Arizona, host BYU, and they go to TCU. So we'll see how that works.
Yeah.
But again, another team that's got an opportunity, Fitz. They've got an opportunity because they are right smack in the middle of this Big 12 title race.
They are. And if they really are as good as we think they could be, or they showed earlier, they're going to win these games. But boy, that's a hell of a finish for a season.
Yeah, it's tough. It's mighty tough. But again, the physicality, which we kind of all thought was going to catch up to them. We'll see because Arizona is a physical. I'm not sure they're as physical as BYU. Matter of fact, I'm positive of that. But they're a physical football team. They are a physical football team, and Arizona's got a lot to still play for, because I think they are a team that's like, hold on a second, we've got some things that we're trying to win. We're not satisfied with just winning 6 games. So Cincinnati's going to have to bring it because, again, they have a ton to play for, Fitz. Cincinnati has a ton to play for. We'll see how that goes. Number 3 is Utah. I'm sure Utah fans will be mad because I didn't drop them below BYU. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do that. We just watched you play. I think you're probably pretty close. I think if the game is in Utah, you probably win by 3. I mean, you win by 3. BYU beat you by 3. It is what it is. But Utah's still a really good team. They're a really good team. And to be quite honest, Utah probably, other than the Big 12 title winner, Utah doesn't make it. If everybody wins out, Utah's got the best chance to be in the college football playoff, Fitz.
Yes,
unless they get hosed tonight. And unless they get hosed tonight, which I'm not putting it past the committee. I'm not putting it past them. But if Utah doesn't move up, or if they get dropped down, then you know that the fix is in. I'm just put that out there right now. If Utah does not move up in the college football rankings tonight, or if they get moved down, you know the fix is in. And it'll just be 100% transparent to everybody that they never had any intention of putting 3 Big 12 teams in. They probably don't have any intention on putting 2 in. But the first rankings, they couldn't do that. They had to at least act like they cared or they were being fair. We'll find out tonight, Fitz. We will.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Whether this committee is going to be legitimate, Utah's a really good football team. They've got 2 losses. If they play their cards right, they're going to end up 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that it's almost benefiting them to have lost to BYU a while back, because now if everyone wins out, they're not going to play in the championship game and probably take another L from Texas Tech, which would put them out probably. But now you've got BYU in that position where they could have another L from Texas Tech, and that'd be their only 2 losses. And I think it kind of lifts them up a little bit. But, you know, as I've mentioned, and you've brought it up too, my daily delivery over on our Go Powercat channel was about the Big 12 could get these 3 teams in. Now, do they need help? Yeah. And do they all 3 need to run the table until the championship game? Yeah, they do. That's exactly what needs to happen. But that's a lot to ask for this conference. We usually have a little chaos, which you love. So it is the brand of this conference. But I think these 3 are better than everyone else, and they just need to win out. And let's see what happens, because this is going to be a real test for the committee. The best way to stop the Big 12 from proving that it's on equal footing, at least the upper echelons on equal footing, don't let them in.
Correct.
Just don't let them in. Bring in another team from the SEC to continue to prove your point. Look how well the SEC did. Well, yeah, there was 5 teams in, almost half the field. So yeah, we need this conference to kind of just hold sway right now and be what it is. And those 3, let's put the pressure on to get those 3 in, or at least make them in the conversation, so they have to go on the record why they're not picking them.
Correct. And let's just, obviously, the cat out of the bag. BYU is at 2 and Texas Tech is at number 1.
What?
Tech is clearly head and shoulders better than everybody else. They've proven it. BYU right in that mix. Here's the thing about the CFP is, and there you have it, the same. Everybody's got it the same. And that's right. That is right. They have proven to be the 4 best at this time. At this time. Again, you got to finish the season. So we'll see how all of that turns out. But you gotta finish the season. Nothing is written in stone yet, especially Cincinnati, man. That's tough sledding. That home game against BYU, I'll be real interested to see how that works out. But we'll see. But yeah, as far as the CFP, I love chaos, people. Fitch, I love chaos. Can't have chaos now. We can't.
No chaos.
And that hurts my heart to even say that I can't get chaos this year. But for the betterment, you know how I'm a Big 12 guy. But for the betterment of the conference, there can't be chaos. Like, there just can't be. Because if there is, they are going to put 1 team in. That's it. They'll do that to us. So there can't be chaos this year. But to be frank with you, I don't think there's going to be. I think that the top 3 in this conference have separated themselves to a point to where it's, okay, this is who they are. They're better, because it's kind of the scenario that you ran through. Tech wins out. Let's just say they win the conference. They get in. If BYU wins out, but then they lose in the Big 12 title, well, they've lost 2 games to a top 5 football team. That's it. Nothing else. Well, then Utah has lost to a top 5 team, and BYU will be a top 12 team. Those are the only 2 games that they have lost. Tell me the better resume. You're going to tell me a better resume? And I point out Notre Dame. Like, what would Notre Dame's best win be? I don't know. Like USC? Okay. But I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. And I know they're going to kill all three of them. They're going to kill TCU, BYU, and Utah for their non-conference schedule. They're just going to obliterate them, and quite frankly, they should. Although Utah, nobody knew that UCLA was just going to be a bottom feeder. I didn't think anybody thought they were going to be great, but I don't think anybody thought they would just be a Big 12 or a Big 10 bottom feeder. So, but it is what it is. 3 teams deserve to be in. I don't care what anybody tells you, as long as they finish the season.
Right.
As of today, though, 3 teams. But we'll find out tonight. I'll be real interested what the committee does, Fitz. I'm real interested because it's Utah's the one I'm worried about. I don't think they're going to hose BYU. They'll probably drop them to 10 or something like that. I tell you one thing that needs to happen this weekend. Georgia needs to beat Texas. If Georgia beats Texas, Texas will have to be out. I don't care. 3 losses, you're out. You're out. So if Georgia does that, okay. If Texas beats Georgia and it's on the road too, that will be a problem for the Big 12. I'm just telling you right now. That'll be a problem for the Big 12.
Agreed.
Because Texas will eventually win out. They're not going to be in the SEC championship game. They will basically I shouldn't say they're going to win out because they had to play A&M. So we'll see what happens there too. But it would just make it easier if Georgia just went ahead and took care of Texas this weekend and we move on.
I'm all for it. I'm in favor of anything that causes Texas pain and anguish.
I'm with it. I'm 100% with it.
I kept hearing them bitch about how it's a bad season, and there they are. They're in the playoff. You talk about entitlement at the highest levels.
Oh, well, we'll get it figured out one way or another. We will get it figured out. But I appreciate everybody, man. Thank you guys again for showing up like you guys do. We'll have more for you. Basketball season underway. Good games all week within this conference, man. So pay attention to college basketball. It is underway. We don't have to wait, man. We don't have to wait. We don't have to take a backseat to anybody, number one, in basketball. We don't have to take it for anybody in anything, but especially in basketball. And it's underway. So start paying attention if you haven't already. There's some really good games that are going on. So appreciate everybody, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you for watching the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. This has been a Spirit Street production.